I've been working for Audemars Piguet for 25 years now, and this is, I think, the biggest launch since 1972. It was a challenge that we pushed ourselves towards to say, we need to show that we are not just good only for the Rilo or the Millenary. And it was a long exercise between mechanisms and design of the case to finally come and release this entire collection called Code 1159 by Audemars Piguet at the SIHH 2019. Nobody can say that we've took our inspiration from another watch company, that in any other products before at Audemars Piguet, it's really a true new design and hopefully a brand new time for Audemars Piguet that will actually write a new chapter in the book of the brand for many, many years to come. So we are launching 13 new references, 6 calibers, out of which 3 are new. The automatic is a brand new caliber. The chrono is finally the one that everybody has been bugging me for the last 10 years. And we've got then the self-winding flying tourbillon. So 3 new calibers in complete new cases, complete new design. That's something. So here in the collection, we have the 3 hands automatic, comes in rose gold and white gold. We're not going to sell this as a men's watch or a woman's watch. It's a watch. And we worked so well, I think, on the ergonomy of the case that even on a very thin wrist, the watch sets perfectly. Then we move on to the chronograph mechanism. Here, I have the chronograph with a black face, lacquered, obviously, same thing with the numbers, flyback function, 70 hours of power reserve, 4 Hz for the frequency. That movement means a lot to Audemars Piguet in the sense that that's the only question we've been asked and pushed a lot over the last 10 to 15 years. When are you gonna guys come with your integrated chronograph mechanism? Then, the Perpetual Calendar, one of the very important movements at Audemars Piguet. I love the watch, I love the dial. The dial is in Aventurina with a lot of sparkles. And I'm sure that that one will be a great success immediately. And since we are only making 100 watches of this item next year, it should be okay. Then we're talking about a brand new mechanism, the flying tourbillon. On those complications, the dials are not lacquered, they are enamel, and the logo is enamel. We want to be able at one point to put the applied logo on it as well, but so far we haven't found the solution. There are 4 specific things we need to talk about: the case, the glass, the dials, and the movements. So when we talk about the case, for example, 3 pieces, the octagon is actually inside the case. So it's a piece on its own. And when you look at the watch from the top, you just see a circle. You don't even see the octagon. It's when you start to look on the side that you start to see the different shapes and the different finishes. Now you attach the lugs from the top to the bezel. On the bottom, it rests on the case. So you could put a thin piece of paper in between and it would go. Then the glass, it's double curved. What does that mean exactly? We curve the glass vertically from 6 to 12 and spherically under, but it's not 2 pieces of glass, it's 1. And there was one reason to do that, was to give the best readability on the dial. The dials. So when you start to lacquer a dial, there's nothing new. I mean, many brands have done it and still do it in small quantities. When you start to want to do hundreds of watches, it's very complicated because you've got between 8 to 12 layers of lacquer until it's done. Now the logo in raised letters in gold was the biggest struggle of all. Because when you look at the size of the left side of the A or the right side of the U, it's so thin that when you apply it by hand, the chances are it's going to fold. So it took us 2 years on that alone to develop the technique to be able, first of all, to create the logo with the right size, not big to the point where it would be ugly, but big enough to hold and sustain the human hand pressure to apply it on the face of the watch. Every time we bring new calibers, we try to improve at every level. They have to be better. We increase the power reserve, we increase the frequency, the robustness of the way it's put together and built. I think we're there. And when we have most of our watchmakers who looked at the watches and say, this is AP, this is a new Audemars Piguet, this is a new collection, and we see a bright future for Code 1159, gives us a lot of trust and hope into what's going to happen. We'll launch in 2019 with roughly 2,000 watches, but if we are successful, we do believe that that line could at one point represent 20 to 25% of our global quantities. So it's a big bet on the brand side, but we have a lot of hopes and we see a bright future for Code 1159.